Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Nick, your host of On the Scene with Martini. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, you are the scene.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nick, on the scene with Martini. Today I'm here with Matt, 215 native, Gridiron boy. How you doing?
Good man, how are you? Thanks for having me on, bro.
Cool, thanks. I appreciate you coming on. I guess we'll kind of just jump right into it. How'd you guys get into the music scene in general?
I grew up really into hip hop. I had two older brothers that kind of put me onto a lot of stuff at a young age. So that's kind of the first type of music that I was ever exposed to as a kid. I remember like borrowing my brother's like Wu-Tang Forever CD and stuff like that. So I was definitely listening to that stuff probably a little too young. I was probably like 10 years old when I first started like really getting into that. And so hip hop has been with me way longer than hardcore has. And later in life, around like high school age is kind of when I discovered heavy music that had rapping in it as well, like Biohazard and E-Town Concrete. And I would listen to I'd listen to like Hatebreed before football games and stuff like that. But it was really when I discovered that heavy music and hip hop like meshed with bands. That's really what really got me into hardcore. Cold World was another band that was huge for me as a young buck.
It's funny that you said too at a young age because at like 10 or 11, I was hu super into Lil Wayne. Like that was like my guy. And I just remember my dad coming into my room and he was like, "What are you listening to right now?" Keep in mind he's a Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd kind of guy, so two
Right.
different worlds. But
Yeah. Yeah,
it's funny
that's
that you say
exactly.
that. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's my dad was a big like Zeppelin guy, and like I love Led Zeppelin. I love a lot of classic rock. I also hate a lot of classic rock. I
so do
I
I.
don't fuck with Pink Floyd. I think Pink Floyd sucks, but I think Led Zeppelin's like one of the greatest bands ever.
I'm a Beatles hater, so I
I
mean,
also am a Beatles hater. I respect what the Beatles have done, but I do not like their music.
same, literally same. And like, don't get me wrong, like there's some songs that like I can't deny that are catchy and good. I'm a fan of Lennon's like solo career, but other than that, I'm just like too many albums too quick. Like I don't too much shit going on.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about how you kind of got into hardcore. You were in high school time listening to E-Town, which super popular, kind of into the rap hardcore world. Did you kind of know that you wanted to be in a band at some point, or was that just not even on your radar at that time?
Not at that time. It was just like I was so new to that world that like that wasn't even a thought. Like it was just going to as many shows as I can and checking out as many new bands as I can and stuff like that. And like starting my own band wasn't even really something that I thought I would ever do, especially at that point in time. It was kind of just like trying to participate in other ways, like buying merch or buying zines, stuff like that.
When you said go into shows and stuff, do you remember your first hardcore show?
My first hardcore show was actually in my friend Marty Williams, who sang for Agitator. He had a show at his barn. And
Okay.
that was my first show ever was at my friend Marty's barn.
That's a very hardcore, very hardcore starter show. That's
Yeah, it was sick.
it
I
fits the
mean,
narrative, very DIY, I'm sure.
yeah, it wasn't my last show, so
Fair
obviously
enough.
something inside that barn got a hold of me, bro.
Fair enough. So when like going into hardcore, you kind of had that you wanted to do the rap side of hardcore too, which I feel like isn't a super popular style, but the bands that do it really connect with it and the fans connect with it. Did you feel when you started that you were kind of writing rap songs to go to hardcore music, or were you trying to like your writing style, I guess?
So I've been writing like hip hop for a long, long time. And like I have like some songs recorded that I recorded a while ago. And like I've never put anything out hip hop related, but I've just written hip hop like for a very long time. And I was actually in a band before Gridiron. I did a record with this band called Rock Bottom in 2011. and I screamed on that record, and like it was cool, but like it just didn't feel like it was what I was supposed to be doing. So I made a vow to myself, like once I wasn't in Rock Bottom anymore, that if I was ever to start another band, it would just be a band where like I wasn't trying to do something that didn't come like supernatural for me.
Yeah,
And like with me, like just writing hip hop for so long, that just felt like what I should be doing. So with Gridiron, the whole point of that was like I don't want to yell anymore. Like it's so much easier to just not yell, to just talk into a microphone than scream into it. So, when we started Gridiron, the whole basis of it was I texted Will while we were playing Call of Duty, and I was just like, yo, can you write a couple songs that I could rap on? And, it all kind of just started from there. And, I made a point that, there's like a good amount of guest spots on Gridiron stuff. And if there's ever a song that I feel like needs screaming, I just will have someone else do it and not put myself through that.
fair enough. When you guys started, it was towards like COVID time, right? Was this kind of just like an outlet to see each other hang out, or you didn't
It
think
was
it'd
like
blow up to where it would be at now?
it was like during peak COVID, so like none of us were hanging out. And like I live, in Philly area, and then Will lives in Michigan. So it was literally just like we were playing Call of Duty for like 16 hours a day at that point. So it was just like, can we please just like do something else for a little bit? And that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be him sending me songs that he recorded on the computer, me writing to him, and then just never even recording them. It was just like something to do. And then once I wrote lyrics to the songs, like I kind of just like roughed them in over the phone to him, and he was like, "Dude, these are like kind of good. We should maybe record these." So then that's when we hit up Mully and like asked him if he wanted to play drums, and kind of formed the band. And we went and we recorded the first four songs, and then everything from there kind of just happened naturally. It wasn't nothing was forced. This band was never supposed to record a song or play a show. So
How did you and Will meet then, being so far away?
we met because his old band Detain uh toured through Philly a couple times, and we just met through that. And so we've been friends for quite some time now. And yeah, so basically, it was probably like 2013 or something like that is when we met for the first time. And yeah, so just them coming through Philly was how we met.
Gotcha. And we'll get into it a little bit later, but I'm sure did he? I'm sure he's a Lions fan.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
he's
sure
a
there's some
big one.
animosity there.
I mean, everyone wants to come at the Kings, you know what I mean?
No,
So
I get it.
is there
I get
really
it.
animosity? No. You know
Fair
what
enough.
I mean?
Well, now they're a little good. They got a little something. So
Keyword, they're a little good.
yeah.
They're a little good.
So then going from you put out your album No Good at Goodbyes 2022. Uh Peak COVID was like what, 2020, 2021, roughly.
Yeah, yeah.
When you guys are recording and stuff, like are you guys together at that point recording yet? Or are you guys kind of sending in each other's pieces?
Yeah, so the first two things, the split with the Spies and the first 7 inch, we recorded kind of remotely. Um, and then the first LP we recorded, actually we might have recorded the split as a full band, but the first record for sure we did not record as a full band. Will just recorded his cars and guitars in Michigan and sent them to us basically.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the first LP we recorded with Andy Nelson at Bricktop in Chicago together as a band.
Gotcha. Making that jump, like first LP, like traveling, at that point in time, did you guys figure like this is going to be something that you guys wanted to do? Like you already have that first 7 inch, which that's like the hard part, getting that first album out, or sorry, EP out, then going to Chicago and stuff. Is that kind of when you guys knew like this is going to be something that we start?
It still didn't really like it still doesn't feel it still just feels like I don't know, just there's just no pressure with this band at all. Like we just do what we want to do, we make the music we want to make. So like even now that like things have like obviously gotten more serious, it still doesn't feel that way to us. Like it's still just we're just having fun.
Yeah. Do you guys have like similar background in terms of music then?
No, and that's what's cool. Like
Yeah.
everyone comes from a different musical background, and I think that's really helpful when it comes to writing music is when you have all these different influences. Like me, I come from hip hop. Mully loves like punk stuff, and Lennon is like the old school guy, loves like Bold and Youth of Today and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then you have Xavier, who's like a huge death metal guy, and then Will, who's like a big like beatdown guy and he loves death metal as well too. So like having those backgrounds all kind of mesh together into a band is I think very beneficial as far as like kind of thinking outside the box when writing songs.
Yeah, when you say hip hop, like modern times, I think when I was looking around, you were at Action Bronson's pop up. Was he a big kind of inspiration for modern time?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just him just like even outside of hip hop, just like the
Hmm.
way he carries himself and like what he does with like I'm big into fashion too, so like what he does in the fashion world and like West Side Gun's the same exact way.
Yeah,
Both those guys are awesome. Um, so they just kind of like transcend music at this point. They're kind of just like fully submerged in like all aspects of like the culture.
yeah,
So yeah, I definitely admire those two guys a ton for what they've been able to accomplish.
yeah. I'm a sneaker guy too, and I do love New Balances. But every single Bronson collab that I absolutely love, yeah, fair enough. I every single Bronson collab that I won, I feel like I have no shot at getting.
I I'm gonna humble brag. I have every pair back there
That's crazy.
so far. Yeah.
My best hit ever was on sneakers. I hit the Travis Scott olive lows.
Oh
That
hell
was
yeah.
that was like that was my big hit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, those go for a lot of money now. I can
I
count on
sold right
one.
away.
They do. I mean, that's smart.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand how many pairs of Nikes I own. I'm strictly like New Balance, Asics, Saucony
Yeah.
guy. I just Nikes, I think I have like too wide of a foot, so like they don't really like fit me too well, and like I've never been into Jordans, but
Yeah, I'm not a Jordan guy either.
all sneakers are pretty cool though. So.
Fair enough. I like the Vimeras. That's kind of been like my shoe if I wear Nikes. That's kind of what I go to.
Yeah, they look comfortable, and like the reason why I think they're cool is I'm like, oh, they kind of look like an ASIC or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like that
Yeah,
same silhouette and like the
yeah,
toned bottoms and stuff.
yeah. The Vomeros are sick, and obviously like the classics, like like Air Max 97s are one of my favorite shoes ever.
Hmm.
But like 95s, 97s, Air Max Pluses, stuff like that. All the tune stuff is
Yeah.
super sick to me. But yeah, I'm just kind of all in on New Balance right now.
Did you feel like when you got into the scene, I feel like a lot of people that are not, I don't want to say outsiders, but I'll say outsiders, why not? They don't really see everything that goes on to this scene. Like you were saying when you first started, you were really into big merch and zines and stuff. Like that translation, like were you a clothes guy too? Because I mean, when I first started, I was getting a shirt at every single show. It was bad.
Yeah, I'm not as much. I'm into like I have some like cool like old merch shit.
Hmm.
Like I've like kind of fell off on like I used to collect it a lot and then once like during COVID, I sold more than I bought just because like the prices of shit were just fucking insane.
Yeah.
So like but I'm into like other clothing stuff. Like I'm not even as much vintage as I am like I'm into like shit like Martine Rose and shit like that. CDG, Amy,
Hmm.
uh, the stuff in that realm.
I gotcha. I every single time I go to New York, I always forget that ALD needs a reservation. And it's always so crazy, like the amount of people. And then they're like, "Oh, we got a private event." And I look in and there's like six people in there.
Dude,
It
I
pisses me off.
the last time I was up and tried going in, it was the day that they dropped Spring Summer.
Hmm.
So like
Oh,
I
Christ.
I walked I walked up just like
Yeah.
expecting to go in, like
Yeah.
it not being an issue, and it's like they took my name down. They're like, all right, yeah, like we're looking like 6 hours you can get in, and it's just like, brother. Gosh, I'm not standing here for 6 hours. So
Delete my name, bro. Like call it a day. I'll come back another time.
yeah, ALD shit is really cool to me because I feel like it's kind of like the closest thing to polo since polo.
Hmm.
Um, they kind of just branch out to everything, whether it's like formal wear or like, they do like athletic wear stuff. And I just think a lot of their designs are very basic and sometimes basic is I don't dress basic a lot. I usually dress like I look like annoying, but I do respect that they kind of just touch all bases.
Fair. So like do you have a lot of control over like Gridiron's merch and stuff? Like do you kind of go over that or do you guys outsource that?
So literally I'd say like 98% of our design work is all done in-house.
Okay.
Uh I am the only one in the band that cannot draw or use Photoshop. So like basically when I have an idea for like merch or something like that, I'll either just tell them or I'll make like the most crude drawing ever and then those guys will like cook it up. So they're all just like really good at that kind of shit and I just suck. But like sometimes I get like a cool idea in my head and then they just bring it to life.
I really like recently, I feel like a lot of bands have been putting to this, and I saw you guys did one, I think it was Phillies. I really like the Jersey culture now. Like the Jersey culture is really coming into hardcore. And I know
Yep.
you wear a ton of jerseys.
Yeah,
Like
I'm a
that's probably
huge
cool for
Jersey
you.
guy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge Jersey guy. I have like a weird thing about like I don't really wear hardcore jerseys that much, like hardcore band
Hmm.
jerseys. I don't know why. I think it's just because like I'm just have it so ingrained in me that like if it's a jersey, it needs to be a sports team.
Yeah, no,
Which is
that's fair.
isn't really true at all. But like I have like a lot of like ALD soccer jerseys and like Martine Rose jerseys and stuff like that. But yeah, I think just like I mean, I love sports. We love sports as a band. So like being able to kind of, tap into that world with our merch is something that's really cool.
No, I get that. I'm a big soccer fan. Like that's kind of one of my sports, and a lot of teams, it's cool too seeing like a lot of teams actually have like that one guy in the band that likes soccer enough to put
Yeah.
out the jerseys.
Yep.
My favorite collab recently was I don't know if you saw the San Jose Quakes with Tsunami.
Yeah, tsunami shit. Yeah,
Dude, that
that's awesome.
I have one. It's like my favorite shirt.
Yeah.
I always be wearing that.
Yeah, I'm not big into soccer at all, but soccer jerseys are undeniably sick.
Yeah, it's a culture thing. I mean, like, and I think it's getting people from America into that culture too, of like, hey, like we can actually wear this normally, and we don't always have to wear,
Yeah.
basketball jerseys or
I
whatever.
did fuck up with a soccer jersey one time though. We were in Scotland and I bought a Rangers jersey.
Oh Christ, did you wear it to a like Celtic territory?
No, I just wore it at a show here in New Jersey.
Okay.
And like I think Hey 56 was filmed the show and they like posted the video and dude, there were people freaking out on me, bro. Like DMing me, like saying like, don't ever fucking come to Scotland again. Like it was crazy, dude. I was like, all right, I need to like watch my P's and Q's when I'm wearing these fucking soccer jerseys, bro.
Dude, it's a whole thing. I mean, like, you could even walk down one wrong street and it's a whole different war. And
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
those were
know that,
Celtic fans.
and I know that like Rangers fans and Celtics fans, now I know
Yeah,
that like it's like Eagles Cowboys times like a million.
exactly. And then you got Hearts, which
Five
is
people.
basically like your Giants. They win like the first four games of the year, then everyone gets pissed off at them that actually do suck. You got that third mix into it too.
Yeah.
No, that's funny. It's funny that your first jersey was a Rangers jersey. That's a
Yeah,
good pick.
lesson learned. Yeah.
That's a good pick. It
It
wasn't a
was
Real
cool. We were at
Madrid
the pro
jersey.
shop and they were like they were mad cheap over there, which is
Yep.
cool because it's like, wow, these teams like actually want their fans to like wear their shit. And now it's like you go on the Fanatics and buy like a current Eagles jersey for like $130 and it's just like the numbers are crooked and
Hmm. And you
so
have to buy the thing that pisses me off too with buying jerseys in America is it's different here than it is over there because we sell a lot of like the replicas.
yeah,
So like we don't have the patches on it, but I want the patch. So it's
right.
like a sock when I get a soccer kit here, it's like $180. Over there it's like $80. So it's
Yeah.
like the difference is crazy.
Yeah, I'm strictly at this point, I'm just like timeless players jerseys. Like
Yeah.
I just go Mitchell and Ness and like, you'll a Dawkins will never go out of style. A Reggie White will never go out of style, so that's kind of the wave I'm on now is just like Mitchell and Ness shit.
Fair. When you guys started, Gridiron obviously is kind of a football term. What was kind of your way of brainstorming ideas for the band name and just overall aesthetic for the band?
That was all Will actually. So the dude who sings the Lions fight song in Detroit, his nickname is Theo Gridiron.
Okay.
So Will was like, dude, Gridiron, kind of a hard name. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's roll with it, bro. So that's where that came from. It's actually I'm diehard Eagles fan. The name Gridiron did come from inspired by the Lions. So
I
I'm
know
not
it pisses you
wasn't
off a
complaining
little bit
about
too,
that.
though.
It does until I look over at my Super Bowl champion newspapers and it's okay. He can have the name. He
Fair enough.
got the rings. So
Fair enough. So, let's jump into just Philly hardcore in general. What was like your first show? Like you said, your barn was your first ever show. What was like
yeah.
your first big Philly show? Was it at the church? Was it at UT, Underground Arts?
So it was definitely at the church. When I started coming around, UT wasn't a thing,
Mhm.
underground arts wasn't a thing. Um, so the church, I'm trying to think like a couple of the first shows I remember. So I'm gonna broaden this out a little bit
Yeah,
to
yeah.
outside of Philly because when I started coming around the shows, Doylestown was huge.
Really?
Moose Lodge in Doylestown was like a huge venue in this area for hardcore shows. So like I remember seeing like TUI there when like Stay Cold just came out. It was like every weekend there were shows and every show had some kind of combination of Cold World, Title Fight, Mongoloids, Bad Seed, shit like that. So like
Yeah.
all the amazing Pennsylvania bands from that era, Blacklisted, Mother of Mercy, stuff like that. So I remember one specific day, it was a double dip. So it was a matinee in Doylestown, which was like Bad Seed, Cold World. I think Naysayer played. I think Backtrack played. That's like when the demo was out. And then after that afternoon show, we drove to Philly to the Barbary and we saw Iron Age, Mind Eraser, and a couple other bands. So that was like a pretty sick day as far
Yeah.
as seeing hardcore bands.
That's cool about Doylestown too. Like that's such a it's pretty convenient too because it's pretty centrally located, I feel like,
Yeah,
for
yeah. There was a
PA
record
boys.
store there called Siren Records that used to
Love
have shows all
Siren.
the time. Yeah, there
Yeah.
used to be a lot of crazy shows there. And yeah, the Moose Lodge was another big spot. I saw Have Heart there. You know, Madball I've seen there, Ringworm I've seen there. Yeah, Rival Mob. A lot of cool shit happened there. And then once that stopped, things kind of started moving to the city a little bit more.
Fair. When I got into hardcore, it's about like 3 or so years ago. I'm still young. I like when got into hardcore, like UA, the church, they were like the main two, I would say. I Yeah, I would say those are the main two. It's cool though because I look back and like obviously I love one thing about hardcore is like all the archiving and stuff. I always watch like Anthony Green stuff. And I swear I missed the timeline from when he used to play in Doylestown like all the time with
But like
Siren.
Siren Records every other weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed that, of course. So now, like now I'm like backtracking. I'm like praying for the day that he does like a Seosin or something cool like that, like back at
Yeah.
Siren.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as the church goes, that's like one of the most like legendary hardcore venues in the whole entire country. Like not just
Absolutely.
this area. Like you look back at flyers from like 95 and it's like Madball, Hatebreed, Integrity, all in the same show. Like that. Yeah, there's just been so much that has happened in that basement that it makes it feel special every time you get to go there.
What was it like playing there for the first time? Like insane, like the energy and
Yeah, yeah, just like stepping on just the carpet, man, the goofy carpet on stage. It's funny, the first time we played the church, actually, we did like a little weekend with Crown of Thorns and our first show was on the floor. So I didn't get the stage the first time, but since then we've played the stage. So yeah, it's pretty cool, just being able to play in these places that you've made so many memories at prior to playing at them.
Was that your, would you say that's your favorite venue to play at or one of them?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Just because of like the history and, it's like the perfect setup for a hardcore show.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little air conditioning down there would be nice, but
That's what
they've been saying they were going to do that for like 2 decades at this point. So,
when I was talking to Joe, he that's what he always said, like you'll never catch me at a show in the summertime at the church because
no.
it's not you can't survive.
Even in the winter, it's brutal because it still gets hot as shit down there, and then it might
Yeah.
actually be worse in the winter because then you go outside and you're just freezing. There's like no happy medium because it just gets like steamy and disgusting no matter what time of the year. But then also there's like a side where it's like, okay, that's like how this type of music should feel. You know what?
Yeah.
So like that kind of adds like a cool element to shows there, I think, like the uncomfortableness
I
of it.
feel like we're the only genre though that thinks like that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
like people like when they go to like an indie show or there's no hate. I go to every single kind of show. I go to a rap show. Like they're like, please don't touch me.
Right.
And we're like, you gotta, you almost have to like guard yourself, even if you're in the back, especially at a show like that. Me and my buddy, we went to go and talk about hot shows. Me and my buddy went to go. We went to the Youth of Today, Bold
Yeah.
at the which I'm think you guys were still on tour, which I'm sure
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that kind of sucked to miss something like that.
Yeah.
But it was hot, and there was like two fans, and then there was like one big ass pit, and then there was like 30 people in the right corner
Yeah.
just hugging the fan. And I was like, honestly, like I wish I was on the fan. Like I'm jealous right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm bummed. I missed that, and then I missed Haywire Bonks. So I missed two pretty epic Philly shows while we were gone.
I was an idiot. I should have went to it was like a busy weekend. I forget what else I hit, but I went to like four like I'm a big concert guy, regardless if it's like I saw Tyler recently, but I also, I went to see Foxy Shazam, which like what I mean, like weird bands, like I'll go all
Right.
over.
Right.
And I was like, Haywire at Bonks Monday, it's free. Should I go? And I'm like an hour 15 away now. And I didn't go. And then I saw all the videos of like the fireworks going off, and it's just like one of those FOMO things.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I just was watching videos just so mad at myself, just like I should be there right now.
that's a cool tour though. I mean, you guys were with Hatebreed. I mean, that's a pretty big tour, and you guys were like third on the bill.
Yeah, yeah, we're like third to last on most of the shows. So yeah, I mean, dude, that tour was awesome for us. Shout out to the Hatebreed guys. They're all just cool as shit. Obviously one of the most important hardcore bands to me ever. So being able to like have that kind of be like our first real tour, uh it felt really special being able to do it with them.
Was it like a different vibe for you guys? I mean, you guys are pretty mosh heavy, not mosh heavy, but there's a lot of movement in the crowd, and like obviously they're big enough that they're playing a lot of like Live Nation venues and stuff with like barricades. Was that a different feeling for you then playing?
Yeah, I think obviously like we're so used to like playing shows without a barrier and stuff like that. And it's like you kind of just have to like shift what your perception of like a good show is,
Yeah.
like in comparison to what you're used to. Something like that, you have a lot of people who have never heard you before. So like when they're in the crowd watching you, this is like their first experience of your band. So it's kind of weird at first, like when you're looking out and you're seeing just like people on the barrier just like doing this, just like staring. But you kind of see yourself like win them over as the set goes on. So like that guy that's just standing there staring at you, like starts bobbing his head a couple songs in, and he starts, giving you the horns in between songs. And it's just a different vibe, different energy. But it's cool playing a show like that and then having people come up to the merch table after you play and just be like, "Oh, you guys were like really cool. This is my first time, ever hearing you guys. You got a new fan, stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that's doing a tour like that, it's cool to have to walk away with like a couple new people liking your band.
Yeah, and like when you guys went into that tour, I feel like at that point in at your stage of like your guys like musical Gridiron as a whole, that's like a tour like you just want to get more fans and be able to put more music out and also almost just like associate yourself like with a tour that big. Did you find it difficult like logistically, or do you guys have a tour manager and stuff?
Yeah, we have like a booking agent that helped with everything. Jake, who's been our homie for a long time, and our manager is Mike from Never Ending Game, so
Hmm.
also another one of our just best friends, you know. So when we decided to like kind of like, you know, take things a little more seriously and do stuff like that, it was like really important for all of us to kind of keep everything like in-house. Like we just want our friends involved, you know, because
Yeah.
this band started like just as a band for like our friends to have fun too, you know. So I never want to lose that aesthetic, you know, no matter what happens in the future.
When you guys were like touring, was it a different, because you guys went down south, to the west a little bit, like did you guys, what was like the lifestyle? Like did you expect that? Was it hard to adapt to it?
Everyone else in the band has been in bands that have toured before, so I'm kind of the first one or like the
Okay.
only one that
Yeah.
like hasn't really experienced this yet. Um,
You could say it sucked. That's,
There was yeah,
I hear that
it
answer a
didn't
lot.
suck. It didn't suck. I think there were a couple things that we learned along the way that we would do differently the next time. You know, whether it's just like bring one because it was just us five, you know,
Okay.
so we all shared the driving, we shared like merch duties and stuff like that. So one thing I think, you know, we would do going forward is like maybe like ask a friend if they want to come with, you know, just like as an extra hand.
Yeah.
Things like that. But you know, being away, uh, it went really fast, but also felt really long. But we got lucky that like halfway through the tour, it was Jersey, Philly, and an off day. So I got to spend 3 days at home, like smack dab in the middle of the tour. So I think that was like a nice little like soft reset, like to finish it out. Um, but yeah, you know, the tour was successful.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, it just kind of proved to ourselves that like, okay, we can do this, you know, if we want to keep doing this.
And towards the end, maybe I'm wrong, but didn't you get, you said you got a little sick, or was that,
Yeah, everyone got a little sick towards the end.
did you feel like that was a difference in performance, or was it kind of just like, yo, we got to power through this, we're towards the end?
Yeah, it was just grab your toolbox and get to work. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone started feeling bad after like Detroit, I think. So we only had a couple shows left, and it didn't really hit me until like the day after I got home.
fair
So
enough.
I was fine, but like Molly was down bad, Will was down bad. But hey, we powered through. That's
And
what
Will's hometown too, doing them dirty.
yeah,
Like that's awful.
yeah.
Philly boys, they wouldn't do that.
No,
That's not in their kind of scope.
no. I do have to shout out Grand Rapids, Michigan though, because that was one of the best shows of tour. And also need to shout out Will because before that show, 100% of the time, he is the one flying to us. He's the
Fair.
one
Yeah.
always traveling to us for whatever it is. So to be able to like play his hometown, the last show of tour, he gets to just throw his shit in his car and drive 10 minutes home. You know, he earned that one. So
And he probably appreciates that too, I'm sure.
absolutely, yeah.
When you guys, was there like any other cities that kind of you, when Gridiron's there, you know that there's going to be a good show up for? Like New Jersey, I feel like it's an easy one, I'm sure, because like I went to the East Rutherford show and like I mean everyone was there. It was sick. That was a great
Yeah,
show for everyone.
yeah. Um both our shows in Texas were really sick. Dallas and San Antonio were awesome.
Hmm.
South Carolina was also awesome. Milwaukee was really good. It's cool just being able to like hit all these cities for the first time.
Yeah.
And you know, and we had a couple off days, and in those off days we just booked shows like in between. So we played like a show in Baton Rouge and we played Troy, New York, and doing those was a lot of fun too. We did a show in Memphis. You know, so sprinkled in between the tour shows, we had just like, you know, hardcore shows that we played. So that was pretty cool too.
Did you, when you were like booking shows, was it, were you guys kind of playing with the other openers with you, or did you guys have to find like local bands and stuff? This was
It
kind
was
of a
all
little,
local bands that we picked, yeah.
gotcha. Going to continuing the trend of performances, because you guys, this was kind of like your year. I mean, new album, Poetry from Pain, which I absolutely love it. It's honestly been on my rotation and on my turntable like nonstop.
Well, thank you, bro.
Yeah, of course. Did you feel like this was like the year, like, okay, we got a new album. We have, we're starting to get a little bit of a following. Like, we're kind of doing well, Instagram, socials, whatever, doing good with shows. We got to play whenever we can, wherever we can. Because, like, you guys are playing, like, you're playing like on it with Incinerary, but you're also playing festivals, Hatebreed, and then like one of my personal favorites. I love going to the Rough Trade shows. I couldn't make it to your guys' show early, but like just kind of what was kind of your philosophy? Like, hey, are we gonna hit shows hard this year?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, what once you put a new record out, you want to play that record live and stuff like that. And right when the record dropped, we went right into Tied Down. The record came out for on Friday and we played Tied Down on Saturday. So and then right from there we came home for a little bit and then it was like Rough Trade, the show with Incendiary, and then it was like right into Hatebreed. But right now, from now until October, we're kind of just chilling. We're gonna write a couple new songs and then 2026 for us is gonna be very busy. So
Busy. What do you like? I know you can't say too much, but touring, album,
touring
touring.
and probably writing. I've
Yeah,
no idea when the next record's gonna come out yet, obviously, but
yeah, yeah,
like we already announced like right beginning of 2026, we're doing Australia with Comeback Kid.
yeah. That's sick, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Is that your first time going overseas to Australia at all, or?
That area, yeah, yeah. I've never been anywhere outside of like Europe.
Okay, I got you.
Oh yeah, really psyched for that.
What was it like the first time playing in Europe? Was it a different kind of culture? I mean, those kids, they throw down. They don't hide anything there.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. Our first time we ever played Europe is we played uh Northern Unrest's Fest. And shout out to them. I mean, what they do for hardcore over in Scotland and the UK is so sick. And that fest was awesome. It was us and Mind Force. We went over together and did that. And then after that, we did the Triple B tour last summer.
Mhm.
Uh, which hit like Outbreak Fest, which was amazing and stuff like that. So yeah, Europe's been really, really sick. Excited to get back there at some point.
Was the Outbreak Fest, was that the, because isn't there two? I always forget because with the London Fest. Isn't there like a Manchester and a London, or am I thinking of something else?
So this, I think that's the first year that they did this.
Oh, okay.
We played 2 summers ago. It was both the whole show, the whole fest was in the same venue.
Gotcha. Was this most recent Scotland trip, was that also at the time at the Rangers jersey?
Yes.
So it's a memorable show for that too. I guess you got
Yep. Yep.
when you guys got into the Rough Trade Below, one thing that I love about Rough Trade too is they're very they do show up for the hardcore and punk scene more than you would think. Then like they're I mean they're in my eyes they're one of the biggest record stores, kind of like Amoeba.
Right.
Like what did you guys reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? How did that kind of process
They
work
yeah,
out?
they reached out to us and obviously that's such a cool opportunity, we weren't gonna turn that down, so
Fair. And you guys played Rough Trade Below, which is kind of new too. When you look back at like old shows, when they have like the Rough Trade above, it's very small and people are like on the racks and shit. So they
right,
probably needed a new space. So there
right.
wasn't any
Yeah, it was
instances there.
cool. Like turnout was sick for being at 2 o'clock on a Saturday. That's a tough ask for some people. So, yeah, yeah, that was an awesome day. And then going right to Williams Center and playing a sick ass hardcore show there. So, yeah, it was awesome.
What made you guys want to do warehouse on Watts for your record release show? Was that just kind of a venue that stuck out with you guys, or
It was it was a nightmare finding a venue for so
really?
it was originally supposed to be at the church. And then it had to get moved, and then we were scrambling to try to find a place to move it to, and then that's kind of just where it ended up being at.
Was it supposed to be at the church? Like you guys announced it at the church and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then it had to get moved like a couple weeks after we announced.
Logistically, though, are you guys kind of taking care of that, or you have your manager from?
Yeah, one of my best friends, Bob Wilson, books a ton of shows in Philly. Um, and he was a huge help in finding, handling all the stress and annoyance of a situation like that. So yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, he's always, you know, always looked out for Gridiron. He's always, all our shows around here, he always is a huge help with them. So yeah, he was the one that saved the show.
Fair. And I want to say congrats too. I saw that you guys are got announced for the that Milwaukee Hardcore Fest. You guys are basically headlining with No Cure.
Yeah, yeah,
Was it
that'll be sick. I'm excited for that.
what is it like? I mean, going from a COVID band to headlining a show or headlining a festival in a few years.
It feels special, and it's one of those things, like I said, like nothing is forced. We're not pushing for anything. We're not trying for anything. We're just making music that we like to make, and that's it. And whatever happens, happens. And like I said, back to my point of this, like this band like we're never supposed to play a show, never supposed to record. So like everything just feels like house money, and I think that makes it feel extra special.
Is there like any bands that you would say like are kind of like a brother band for Gridiron?
Yeah, I mean, Pain of Truth, big one for us.
Hmm.
We both demos kind of came out at the same time, played, a lot of shows together. Tsunami, another one, our first weekend, and Tsunami's first weekend, we did that together. So those are two really big ones. Mind Force, we've played a ton of shows with. I mean, the list goes on. Missing Link,
Yeah.
all these bands. And that's what's really cool right now is it's, all these bands are just we're just all like everyone's just friends, and so it's everyone just the vibes are always good, and you get excited when you see a lineup drop and one of those bands be on it with you and stuff. So yeah, it's really really cool.
Do you see Gridiron doing another split anytime soon with another band, or was that kind of just like you guys were starting out and wanted to collab? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what the future holds as far as like what format of music we're gonna do. I just know that we're just gonna keep making it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'll hit you with one more question as we start tailing off. This is a Eagles question. Top five quarterbacks for the Eagles,
Top five Eagles quarterbacks in order.
preferably, but I'd let you swap if you had to switch to one
I
and
can
two
I can give them to you in order.
in order. Okay.
This isn't like top five like best all around. I'm just gonna give you my top five for
Yeah.
like what they mean to
Yeah.
me.
Matt Gridiron's top five Eagles. Breaking news.
Nick Foles is obviously number one.
Okay.
He
Yep.
brought the first Super Bowl to Philadelphia. Is he the best Eagles quarterback of all time? Absolutely not.
No,
Not even close.
no. Probably
He is
like
the
maybe
most
five.
he is the most important Eagles quarterback to me of all time, just because of what he did in the Super Bowl and in that whole playoff run. Um, that will never be topped for me. He broke the seal. Uh, Number two, got to be Jalen Hurts. He
Interesting.
gave us Super Bowl number two. Everything he is the most like you have to go out of your way to hate him. Everything about him is just fucking cool. He's just a cool guy. Like he's a winner. He says all the right things. He gives a fuck. Like what's there to dislike about him? Um
You'd
so
be
that's
shocked. I
like
mean, you know how it is though. You'd be shocked with Eagles fans. They'll find a way to hate him.
oh yeah. Oh dude, in week two we're getting calls for Tanner McKee. First interception, dude. The WIP phones are ringing off the fucking hook. Uh Number three, I gotta go McNabb.
Okay.
I think he gets disrespected and I think he's underappreciated in this city.
It's a shit time for Eagles though at that point in time. I mean, like looking
Yeah,
back at it, there's a ton of players that like me and you look up to.
right,
But I mean, they didn't really do shit,
right.
truthfully.
But they every year they were good enough to give us hope. Like
Yeah.
we were knocking on the door every year. Like and for a team to even be knocking on the door for 5 years in a row, it's like that there's something to be said about that. So I think McNabb got to be number three for me. Um, yeah, and like as a kid, obviously growing up, like he was QB1, so
Hmm.
me forming into an Eagles fan, he was the one that was there. So he's got to be number three for me. Um, Number four, got to go Michael Vick. Just like, you know, him coming back and, seemingly, learning from his mistakes and stuff like that, like getting, the whole second chance story and like not to mention like he was pretty fucking good as an Eagles quarterback, and like he
Super
just
fast.
didn't
Take
have
it.
much around him.
Yeah.
Like one of the best arms all time in the NFL. Um, so like just watching him with like Shady and D-Jax and like that was a really exciting offense. So Vic got to be my number 4. And number 5, I gotta go Randall. Just because like Randall was like the first one of the first like, running quarterbacks. Um, just like endless style. He looked so cool playing football. Obviously, it was a little before my time, but like when I'm like watching old Eagles highlights, like watching Randall Cunningham highlights, it's just like stands out to me.
I feel like a lot of people will just be happy that you didn't put Wentz on it.
So Wentz had a so Wentz, we probably would not have won a Super Bowl had it not been for Carson Wentz. I'm not taking that away from him, and he probably would have won MVP
Hmm.
that year. Do we know if he would have won a Super Bowl? No, we never will. But like
Yeah.
it's how he carried himself after, and like all the stuff that came out after he left the team and stuff like that. It's like this guy just kind of sucks.
Yeah. And you can't talk
No
shit on
one really,
Philadelphia.
no one really fucked with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and to me, being a locker room guy is just as important as being good on the field. And
Hmm.
that's why I admire Jalen Hurts so much. And Wentz was just the opposite of that. He was just a dickhead.
Fair. And I keep saying fair. I don't know why that's like my term for the day. Uh, I'm a huge Phillies fan. Like that's like kind of that's my realm. I know you're into basketball. I'm sure into Phillies too.
Yep.
Stubbs he's like that locker room presence, and like he might not be the best, but he might just be just as good as Marshawn is.
He's better than Marshawn. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Marshawn is ass, dude.
When I see, runners on second and third and I see Marshawn, I'm like, shit, just get Thompson up there to hit.
Yeah.
Like let Rob get a fungo and you know what I mean? Pretend it's ground balls and try to hit one.
Yeah. Phillies. I'm a 4-for-4 guy, obviously.
Mm.
Eagles are obviously top dog for me, and then it's probably the Sixers, unfortunately. But I pay attention to all four, and I love the Phillies. And they're exciting, they're good right now. I just it just feels like something's missing for me. Like as to be a contender.
Yeah.
I just feel like there is something that isn't there that needs to be there for me to be like they have a real shot to win the World Series.
I just don't like the fact that like I don't like Weston Wilson playing. I don't I like just like stupid stuff. Like I feel
Yeah,
like I would have loved another reliever. Like just a middle reliever with like a 3.5 ERA. I
yeah,
mean, the Nats got or not the Nats, the Tigers got like 6 of them. You're telling
yeah,
me we couldn't give some bum I mean, I saw the trades too. They
yeah.
weren't great.
We let 3 of them walk in the offseason.
Yeah,
Just sign one.
exactly. That like all we had to do is literally
Yeah,
sign
they
one of
were
them.
here already.
Yeah. I personally I wish we would have kept Hoffman. I know
Yeah,
I know some people weren't always Hoffman lovers, but I feel like Hoffman's not having the best of year compared to what he was with Philly. But if he was in Philly, he would still be producing the way
right. And
that he
now it's
should
like
be.
now you got Duran, so it's like you don't have to play. And obviously, Alvarado's situation really hurts us.
Most
Like
random drug test of the year, too.
having him right now for like the seventh and eighth would be fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
He's back soon, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
he's
a
getting close.
week or two.
He's getting close, dude. Him setting up Duran, that's dirty, dude. That's awesome. So
100 to 105 for 3 innings.
yeah,
Like,
crazy, crazy.
are you a big like live sports guys too then? Like you try to go to games and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Have you been to a game yet since Duran?
I have not.
I need
No,
to go and like I just need it to be a little close so he
my
closes.
my luck, my luck. It's going to be like 11-0 one way or the other for like the next 5 games that I try going to, and you're not going to see them.
And
Playoffs,
yeah,
playoffs. We'll get them.
yeah, hopefully. Do you go to playoff games or try to at least?
Yeah, I go. I try to go to more. I try to like just save myself for the playoffs,
Yeah.
kind of. Like I have Sixer season tickets in my family, so like we'll go to regular season. Like last year, I didn't go to any because it's like, why would you? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? There's no point.
Yeah.
Um, But so I'll go to like a good amount of regular season Sixers games. Eagles games, I try to hit a couple a year, and I try to hit one away game a year.
Oh,
So
okay. Do you
and
like travel to a different stadium then?
yeah, or try to like do like, oh, we're playing a show in LA, they're playing the Rams, something like that. It was pretty cool. A couple of years ago, it was 2022 season, I think it was. We played Toronto on a Saturday, and then it was week one, Eagles Lions at Ford Field, and Gridiron and Never Ending Game played the show. So we all just drove back to Detroit and went to Eagles Lions week one at Ford Field, which was pretty sick. And next weekend, I'm going out to Detroit again, and I'm gonna go to the Tigers game. They're playing Labor Day at 1 o'clock, and they're playing the Mets, so I can be a real Tigers fan.
Yeah. Oh, especially and like honestly, you won't even have to do much. I mean, the
No,
Mets are
no,
awful right now. They look awful. I think
fuck the Mets, dude.
they're like 1-9 in the past 10. It's
Yep.
bad. Phillies are up 6.5. Like, I mean, the one thing about the Phillies is you never expect a good August from the Phillies.
No.
And we're getting it, knock on wood, we're getting it right
So
now.
far, so good. Yeah. I just
Uh,
hope that doesn't mean we're getting a bad September.
and it's possible the way that
Yeah,
those
it's
guys
very
play.
possible. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
favorite, I was at game 5 versus the Padres when
Yeah.
Harper had the home run, and
Oh, hell yeah.
I still tell everyone like I'll go on a first date and they'll be like, "Oh, like what's one of your like, like your favorite moments in life, whatever." I'm like, that will be my moment. My parents are calling me crying. They're like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "I know, I don't even know what to do. I'm
Yeah.
starting to run the Broad Street
Yeah.
already."
It's awesome. Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to game three of the World Series in '08.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
So yeah, and then the parade was on my 18th birthday.
Oh, dude,
So
you lucked
it,
out
it
there.
was pretty sick. And that was the first championship I've ever got, in my
Yeah.
lifetime. So yeah, that one was pretty cool. Been to a lot of cool Eagles games. Was at like the Snow Bowl versus the Lions and stuff. So yeah, a lot of really cool Philly sports memories. Hopefully we make some more soon.
Fair. And then I remember in '08, I was 6. So I remember we
You
were
are a
actually
young bull.
I am a young boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I remember when I'm pretty sure we were near Tampa or like in Tampa. So it was just awkward.
Yeah,
Like me and my parents they're at the bar. I'm, probably at a stool near them and they're cheering and everyone's just looking. They're like, thankfully though, like Florida's not really a sports culture where you have to be worried about getting your shit rocked. Like
right.
it's not like it's like, the Mets. Like, I mean, those fans are brutal. I mean, so are Phillies fans, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but
it's the Northeast, in general. Boston, New York, Philly.
yeah.
Those are probably the three notorious that, then like 49ers fans are bad and, it it happens everywhere, but it's just we kind of get like a worse rap than everyone else.
What's your opinion on Red Sox starting to take the term, or not starting to, but I guess a lot of stuff has been on social media about like the Red Sox being Red October. No, right? Like it's
Stop.
ignorant.
SARS. Yeah,
It's
SARS.
ignorant. No, I
Yeah.
get. Well, I appreciate you a ton for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, guys, down below there'll be a ton of links. I mean, I don't know how many of my 215 boys are going to Australia, but I'm sure there'll be some more shows released. Check out Gridiron, check out their new album. They also just went on Audio Tree. That was sick. Watch
Yeah,
that
that was a
performance.
cool experience.
That's on Apple Music too. I had that saved. So yeah, take a look at all of his links below. Go support, buy merch, stream music. Till next time, guys.